Subscribe to my channel for more real interesting story. Now, let's begin this one. My sister fired me, replaced me with our MBA cousin. 6 days later, the platform crashed, clients fled, and their investors called me instead. Hello everyone. Before we begin today's video, I need your help. We've noticed that the channel is losing traction, and subscribing is one of the best ways you can help us. It's quick, free, and allows us to continue bringing you great content. Your support means everything. Let us keep this channel growing collectively. Thank you very much. Now let's begin the video. I received the email on a Tuesday afternoon. Your services are no longer required. Severance details to follow. I did not argue or beg. I simply forwarded it to my attorney and quietly withdrew my seed financing from the startup. They assumed my cousin could handle the technical aspects. 3 months later, their investors fled. Hello, Reddit. I spent 8 years starting my sister's IT company from scratch. Then she sacked me in a 2-sentence email and transferred my CTO position to our cousin. I did not fight back publicly. I simply withdrew my personal investment and watched as everything came apart. They bet on the wrong horse. This is what occurred. Sabrina, my 32-year-old sister, launched her cybersecurity firm in a tiny Seattle apartment in 2015. 8 years later, it managed $6.8 million in annual contracts and had operations in Seattle and Portland. I'd been there from the beginning, first developing code alone while Sabrina worked for customers, then expanding the engineering team following our Series A, and then architecting our flagship security platform, which brought us 3 Fortune 500 clients. The company was the ultimate tech startup, offering specialized penetration testing, unique security solutions, and a SaaS platform that monitored for vulnerabilities in real time. We worked with hospital systems, financial institutions, and government contractors, organizations where data breaches may be life-threatening, not just a PR nightmare. Our clientele included some of the Pacific Northwest's leading hospital networks. Sabrina never missed an opportunity to tell investors how she built everything from the start, neatly omitting the $150,000 from our grandfather's estate that paid for the first year. She omitted such an aspect from her founder's story. Adjusted for inflation and Seattle's tech ecosystem, that's almost $250,000 in beginning capital she never had to work for. Not quite the bootstrap narrative she promoted. My cousin, Talia, 26FH, was a different story entirely. While I was working all night to patch significant security issues, she was pursuing her MBA at Stanford, courtesy of her parents. When she eventually joined the company 2 years ago, Sabrina gave her the title of Chief Strategy Officer, despite her complete lack of cybersecurity knowledge. My Aunt Monica, Sabrina's godmother, was Talia's strongest supporter. Monica convinced Sabrina that Talia needed a company car to meet with possible clients. While I was still taking the bus or using ride-sharing applications to client meetings, she never pushed for me in the same way that she did Talia. Talia's MBA centered on entrepreneurship, so she spent 2 years networking with venture capitalists and developing PowerPoint presentations. Her resume included a summer internship at a marketing business where her sorority sister's mother was the CMO. Nonetheless, Sabrina believed she was prepared to design strategy for a specialized cybersecurity organization. I remember when Talia revealed her true colors. We'd been wooing a major hospital system for months, and I'd spent weeks tailoring our platform to meet their specific compliance requirements. We're talking at 2 a.m. coding sessions, weekends lost to testing, and my partner eventually breaking up because I was married to my work. On the day of our final pitch to their CISO and security team, Talia arrived 15 minutes late, interrupted my presentation, and introduced herself as the architect of this security alliance. When the client asked detailed questions about implementation and compliance frameworks, Talia stumbled, so I stepped in with the answers. Later that day, she confronted me in the workplace kitchen. "Don't ever make me look stupid in front of clients again," she jabbed her finger at my chest. "I was just answering their technical questions," I responded. "Next time, write down the answer and slide it to me. I'm the face of these deals now. You're just the back-end coder. Remember your place." I shouldn't have left that day.
Instead, I swallowed my pride and continued working, reminding myself that I was doing it for the firm I helped develop, not Talia's ego. The healthcare deal totaled $2.3 million over 3 years. But guess whose name appeared on the commission report? Not me. Last year, I learned that Talia was misrepresenting business development KPIs. She'd take credit for automatic contract renewals, claim prospects that other team members had nurtured, and stage client meetings that never happened to achieve her quarterly quotas. I showed Sabrina the evidence, a full spreadsheet analysis that took me a week to complete, but she disregarded it as aggressive business development. I'd spent the past quarter quietly documenting everything, preparing my case, and saving receipts. I hadn't planned to use any of it, but something told me to be prepared. Call it intuition honed over 8 years of watching my sister operate. Then, on Tuesday, I noticed Sabrina's email arrived. It was 4:17 p.m., and I had just closed a serious security hole on our primary platform without Talia's assistance. We weren't the type of siblings who check in every day, so I assumed it was about the quarterly board meeting. I opened the email and continued to organize my notes, reading half of it while saving my files. Your services are no longer required. Severance details to follow. I froze. My cursor poised over the save button, 2 sentences given with the chilly efficiency of a system notification. I sat there for a minute, her words searing in my mind. The letter was clinical and emotionless, similar to terminating a software license. After all the years I've put into building her firm, all the family events I've missed, all the connections I've sacrificed, this is how she ends it. A 2-sentence email? The board meeting slated for Friday wasn't your typical quarterly review. It was around this time that we discussed the technical roadmap for the next year and assigned resources across teams. Cutting me out of that meant cutting me out of the company's future. Through my office window, I could see Sabrina and Talia's office, where they were both nodding and staring at a whiteboard. Sabrina never consulted with me like that again. Now everything is made clear. They were not only planning for the next quarter, they were arranging my departure. I closed my laptop with my fingers hanging over the keys. A dozen responses raced through my mind, each one angrier than the previous. Finally, I just typed 2 words. Understood. Forwarded. If she decided to end it, that's okay. I wasn't about to beg for an explanation. But if she believed she could cut me off without repercussions, she had another thing coming. I retrieved the investment agreement from my desk drawer. My signature was in blue ink next to Sabrina's on the seed funding document. I carefully composed an email to our company lawyer, attaching the essential clauses about investor withdrawal rights. The sound of my keyboard was like hammering nails into a coffin. I took screenshots of everything, then opened my email to send a message to my personal attorney. I attached the screenshots and typed, "Need to meet tomorrow. Company situation is changing dramatically. Let's discuss my options." I pressed send, shut my computer, and walked out of the building, not looking back. If my sister wanted to play this game, I wasn't going to let her decide my fate. The next day, I acted quickly, canceling my meetings, clearing my calendar, and sending Sabrina an email stating my decision to step away from operations while seeking a comprehensive financial and technical assessment of the systems I'd created. There were no emotional appeals or attempts to rescue our relationship, only the cool, precise language of an investor protecting their assets. I spent 8 years of my life with that company, 8 years of missed vacations, friends' weddings, and postponed personal goals. For what? To be dismissed with a 2-sentence email? After graduation, I turned down a senior engineering position at Microsoft to assist Sabrina in launching her firm. And for what? So Talia can waltz in and take over? I quietly began the process of withdrawing my seed investment based on my minority ownership rights. This was not an emotional response. It was strategic risk management. If they were going to cut me out, I needed to defend my financial interests. I made many calls to my attorney to begin the separation procedure. It was not personal, it was business. Sabrina taught me the lesson herself. While I waited for my attorney's response, I saved every piece of code I'd written, every system architecture diagram, and every technical specification document, anything that could demonstrate my contributions. Not to steal intellectual property, but to preserve my legacy. When you've spent 8 years developing software systems, you know exactly where the technical debt lies. An hour after I submitted my email, Talia texted me. We both know Sabrina has been carrying you for years. Don't worry, I've got plenty of ideas to modernize that spaghetti code you've been maintaining. She should have put me in charge of the product from the day one. I did not respond. There's no point engaging with someone who can't identify the difference between a firewall and a database. I just took a screenshot from my records and kept working on my escape strategy. Talia has always been a talker and not a builder. Her ideas were often based on buzzwords she had picked up at conferences without knowing the underlying technology. The next morning, I received a text from Jared, our lead security engineer of 5 years. Sabrina just called an emergency. All hands announced Talia's taking over as CTO effective immediately. The woman could not explain a simple SQL injection if her life depended on it. Talia had apparently been warning Sabrina for months that I was going to create a competitor product and duplicate proprietary code. Complete